Hello everyone and welcome to the second part of our complete Python 3 course in the first section to be specific. So this is the second part of section 1 of the complete Python 3 course. Now if you remember, in the last video we discussed integers, floating points and the print function, which were easy and they were interesting to learn. So if you remember, they were numbers and the print function was just a function to print data types or objects onto our console. So if you haven't watched that video yet, make sure you check it out. The link of that video will be in the description box down below, and make sure you access the playlist of this course. So let's get started with the topic. Now, strings. In this video, or in this part, we're going to discuss strings. Before I introduce the strings, I'm sorry, strings are just characters or sequence of characters inside quotation marks. So if we say hello world, this is a string because these are characters inside quotation marks. And now if you say 15, it's a string. Now many people get confused here that how is 15 a string? How is not an it's not how, like, it's not an integer? And the reason for it is because it's in quotation marks. So everything that comes inside quotation marks, they are like, it's a string. So even if it's a percentage sign, it's a string. So strings are basically sequence of characters inside quotation marks. So then we have the print function that we used to print integers and floating points onto our console. So we'll use the same function to print strings. So we say hello world, and if you run this, let me bring my console. So we have hello world. So this is a very easy way to print strings, and this is the, I think, only way to print strings, because we only have one print function, one type of print function. So now we saw how to print strings, and as I said, or if I didn't, I'll say it, that strings can be as long as you want. So I can, instead of just saying hello world, I can say hello world, how are you? My name is Josh and I am 14 years old. So this is a pretty long sentence, not very long but not very short. So we're gonna just print this and we get the desired output. So anything you mark inside the quotation marks, it's string, and a string can be as long as you want. It can be about paragraphs, it can be only a sentence, it can be only a word, or it can be even just a letter, just an alphabet, or just a character. Now that we saw that how to print strings and what are strings, let's discuss some functions related to strings. So first of all, we have dot upper and dot lower, which are very easy, and once you get used to them, you'll get to know that how do we use them in our daily life coding. So we can say dot lower. Now this is a dot lower function. So what I did is set print hello world, but in lowercase, dot lower. So after writing the name of the function or method, make sure you add the parentheses after it. So once I just run it, I'll get hello world. Now you'll be thinking, what's the difference? If you notice here, we have h in lowercase, but now here h is in h is in uppercase, but here we have h in lowercase. So what the lower function does is that it matches, or it sees every character of the string. It scans it, or you can say that it memorizes or goes through it and makes it a lowercase character. So this is how the dot lower function works. Now we have dot upper. So we have dot upper, and notice that it made all the characters, it transformed it to uppercase. So we had them in lowercase, but now they're all in uppercase. So this is dot lower and dot upper, and now we have one of the most important functions, dot split. So if I say hello world, print hello world dot split, and I just run it, look, I get a list of the elements that are inside the string. Okay, but if I say hello world, how are you, and if I just run it, look, I have the list of each element in that string. So hello world, how are you? Okay, now this was the split function. All it does is that it splits the end of every word to a different, and it makes a list of those words. So it splits the string in parts of that word. So it depends how many words you have, then you will get the words as a different element in a list together. So this was dot split, and we can, if I just say dot split r, and if I just run it, you can see we have hello and we have wo and ld. So we have wo and ld. So where is the r? Now, there's this method in dot split that if you pass a character inside it, it will split the string upon that character. We had the r inside world, but we don't have it. What it did, it split it world on the index of r. So you can see we have a missing r, and once the splitting is done on an index of that character is no longer there. We can't see it. So we can see we don't have r of world, r of r. So this was an example of splitting on a character. Now that we've done dot split, let me give you an example of dot format. So dot format is a very useful function in strings. So if I say hello, and if I just say curly braces and say my name is curly braces. Okay, now if I just say dot format and say hello Josh, my name is Nick. So if I just print it, notice what happens. It says hello Josh, my name is Nick. What it did, it formatted Josh to the first blank parent or curly braces, and it formatted Nick to the second curly braces, the blank. So for the format, it does all it does is it formats the elements that are passed in it to the curly braces, inside the curly braces that we left in the string. So you leave like empty spaces, but they're not empty like this. You have to leave curly braces. So the dot formatted does is that it formatted Josh into the curly braces, or the first curly brace, and Nick into the second. Now notice that if I write Nick first and then I write Josh, and if I just print it, so Nick comes here. So it will not recognize that which element do you want on which place. So you better just write the elements in the sequence. So if I just want Nick in the first place, I will write Nick first, and if I want Josh in the second place, I will write Josh in the second place over here. So this was dot format, and we have f-string literals, which I'm not going to discuss in this video or this part because that is a complicated topic, and not complicated, but it's related to variables. So once we discuss variables, then we're going to discuss the f-string literal. So I hope you liked this video, and if you really did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell notifications on so you don't miss any updates, and comment down below if you have any question related to strings. And I will see you in the next video where we discuss a whole topic about variables and arithmetic signs, or basic arithmetic in Python. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.